This is the WWE NXT Gold Rush, November 25, 2025, full show results video. The show started with a match between Jackson Drake vs. Shawn Legacy for the WWE Evolve Men's Championship. Jackson Drake and Shawn Dr. Thirst Legacy battled in a fast-paced, punishing WWE Evolve Men's Championship match. Early on, Legacy fired off probing kicks before Shawn answered with a Manhattan drop, atomic drop, and a burst of penalty kicks leading into a near fall. Outside interference from the Vanity Project shifted momentum, allowing Drake to punish Legacy on the apron and control through the break. Shawn rallied with a dropsalt and brutal chest kicks, but Legacy caught a penalty kick and fired back with right hands, a dropkick, and a huge Everest German suplex. The match escalated with high-risk dives, counters, and dramatic near falls, including a moonsault fallaway slam that couldn't finish Drake. In the end, Jackson hit a hanging diving knee and the Buseku knee to retain the title by pinfall. Earlier backstage, Ethan Page tried convincing Sol Ruca she'd become champion again if she ditched deadweight Zaria. Myles Borne stepped in, warning Sol not to trust Page. Ethan fired back, accusing Myles of meddling in everyone's business. Borne insisted he was locked in on his match with Trick Williams, but Page mocked him, saying Myles is distracted by everything except what matters. Proof, he claimed, that he'll never need to worry about Borne. Then we saw a match between Fallon Henley vs. Zaria for the WWE Speed Women's Championship. Fallon Henley and Zaria fought to a hard-hitting, fast-paced time-limit draw. After a tense collar and elbow start, Henley grabbed an early sleeper before Zaria powered her off. Both women traded roll-ups, elbows, and sunset flips, each scoring multiple near falls. Zaria hit a stinger splash and transitioned into a standing cloverleaf, but Henley reached the ropes. Momentum swung repeatedly. Big boots, a hanging sleeper, a diving shoulder block, and a brutal lawn dart into the apron kept the match even. In the final minute, Fatal Influence caused chaos, allowing Henley to hit a big boot and nearly steal it with a counter DDT. Zaria avoided a final rush, but before either woman could secure a finish, the time expired, resulting in a draw. Ava Raine restarted the bout in sudden death, and Fallon Henley and Zaria immediately clashed again. After a scramble that sent Fallon crashing to the floor, the match returned from break with Henley in control, grinding Zaria down with an armbar takedown into the rings of Saturn. Zaria powered back with a pump kick, headbutt, and Northern Lights suplex, followed by a spear that sent Fallon spilling outside. Lei Ying intervened, pulling Henley clear so Zaria collided with the steel steps. Back inside, Fallon capitalized, landing a Shining Wizard and finishing with the Fameasser to score the pinfall and become the new WWE Speed Women's Champion. In a new vignette, Shiloh Hill recalls growing up a die-hard wrestling fan and once accidentally breaking his dad's nose while playing wrestling. He says his father taught him to try new things, reflects on the many jobs he's worked, proudly shows his missing tooth, and signs off to search for misplaced bolt cutters. Back from commercial, we get the video footage of John Cena picking the Men's Iron Survivor Challenge entrants. He chooses J. Yvonne Evans, Leon Slater, Joe Hendry, Dion Lennox, and the winner of tonight's main event match between Myles Borne and Trick Williams. Then we saw a match between Jordynne Grace vs. Kalani Jordan vs. Lei Ying for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. The triple threat for the TNA Knockouts World Championship erupted into non-stop chaos as Kalani Jordan, Jordynne Grace, and Lei Ying battled at a relentless pace. Early exchanges saw Kalani apply a corner sleeper on Grace before Lei broke it up with a top rope blockbuster. The action spilled outside and inside repeatedly, with Jordynne hitting corner knees, a sliding uppercut, and a Vader bomb for a near fall. The champion regained control briefly with a sit-out impaler DDT and an Ase moonsault before the break. After returning, momentum swung wildly. Frog splashes, missile dropkicks, German suplex chains, and an avalanche of Spanish fly all came close to ending it. Lei nearly submitted Jordan with a half crab before chaos broke loose again with power bombs, rack drops, and floor counters. In the final sequence, Grace leveled both opponents, but Lei Ying hit a perfectly timed falling spin kick and scored a lateral press pin on Kalani Jordan to win the Knockouts World Championship. Backstage, Fatal Influence were celebrating Fallon Henley's victory. JC Jane gives Lei Reed a pep talk about winning the WWE Evolve Women's Championship. Ava Raine rolls up and congratulates Fallon and JC, but says they both had interference, but Reed will have to do it on her own because both of them will be banned from ringside during Lai's match. In a candid sit-down interview, Absolute Ricky Saints reflects on the pressure surrounding Oba Femi's return and his own title reign. He admits his previous win over Oba relied on several fortunate factors and openly acknowledges he isn't sure he can beat him again. Saints questions whether he's merely a brief detour in Oba's path, but says he's fighting to silence that doubt. If he can't defeat Oba, he believes his entire journey loses meaning. Still, he embraces the weight of expectation, saying pressure is painful but also his greatest ally. Ricky vows to prove that the impossible is possible. Then we saw a match between Kendall Gray vs. Laney Reed for the WWE Evolve Women's Championship. Kendall Gray and Laney Reed opened their WWE Evolve Women's Championship match at full intensity, with Gray unleashing rapid grounded strikes before attempting a flying armbar. Reed fought it off, drove the champion into the corner, and hammered her with kicks, but Kendall reversed and answered with aggression of her own. After Gray's counter-strikes and a near powerbomb escape, Laney regained control by tripping Kendall face-first into the steel steps before the commercial break. Returning, both women battled on the turnbuckles until Gray hit a diving moonsault that left them laid out. Reed responded with a near fall off a Blue Thunder driver, but Kendall locked in a cross armbar. Chaos erupted as Fatal Influence arrived, prompting Ren Sinclair to attack Fallon Henley, only for JC Jane to shove Sinclair off the apron and into Charlie Dempsey's arms. Amid the distraction, the match swung wildly roll-ups, strikes, and top rope jockeying before Kendall hit a decisive back superplex. With the straps down, she charged in and finished Laney with shades of gray, retaining the WWE Evolve Women's Championship. Dark State are backstage, and Dion Lennox says it's time for him to go after a singles title, but don't worry, it's still all about the group for him, and that sends us to break. Back from commercial, we get the video package of John Cena selecting the entrants for the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge match. He selects Sol Ruca, Lola Vice, Kalani Jordan, Jordan Grace, and Kendall Gray. In the main event of the show, we saw an Iron Survivor Challenge qualifying match between Myles Borne vs. Trick Williams. Trick Williams and Myles Borne delivered a high-energy, physical battle with an Iron Survivor spot on the line. Williams started aggressively with punches and a guillotine choke, mixing in a straight suplex and heavy strikes while Joe Hendry, J. Yvonne Evans, and Leon Slater watched backstage. Afterward, Trick resumed control with mounted punches, a flapjack, and thunderous corner chops. Myles nearly stole it with a schoolboy and crucifix attempt before Trick countered into an attitude adjustment. Borne answered with a sharp power slam, then built momentum through stiff strikes, a clean dropkick, an inverted facelock elbow drop, and a series of near falls. Both men collided with simultaneous neckbreaker attempts before rising to trade even heavier offense, Trick's uppercut, Myles' German suplex, and big reversals. Williams hit a cyclone kill on the floor, but when he charged for the trick shot, Borne dodged, sending him into the steps. Borne again connected on the floor, and one more inside secured the pin. Myles Borne advanced to the Iron Survivor Challenge. Post-match, Dark State appears in the crowd and comes to the ring. J. Yvonne Evans, Leon Slater, and Joe Hendry appear in the ring to give Myles some backup, and the two sets of men stare each other down, and the show goes off the air. How would you rate this week's NXT show? Tell me in the comments, and thanks for watching the video.